Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is once again happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call, bringing you our first edition of Milford Varsity Boys Lacrosse on the spring sports season. And today Milford welcomes in a tough opponent from the Kelly Rex division in the North Attleboro Rocketeers. And we are very quickly jumping in to action here this afternoon. Actually getting this game in close to 15 minutes ahead of schedule as North Attleboro rips an early opportunity point blank in front of the net. It's cast aside and drifts back around behind the Milford goal. The Scarlet Hawks attacking from right to left across your screens here in first half action, as that one is dropped in past the goalie for an early score. Count it for the senior from North Attleboro, Greg Berthium. And so just inside this first quarter action, it's going to be North that takes the first lead. Still 11:18 to go, just settling into action. So Milford playing from behind the Scarlet Hawks. One victory so far on the season. It came in non-conference competition on their opening game of the season. Fresh off of coverage last Thursday of the girls lacrosse team in a victory against Sharon. The boys came up short in their contest against their Sharon counterparts on the road. And as we typically point out in the early days of the spring sports season, some minor differences between the boys and girls lacrosse games, most notably that the boys game is broken up into quarters while the girls play it in halves. So right now, 10 minutes and change remaining on the first quarter score clock. An early goal for the Rocketeers as Milford tries to get the equalizer. In net for the Scarlet Hawks is Alex McGuire, the senior. A senior in net for North Attleboro as well, and JT Gallagher. Milford under the direction of their second-year head coach Austin Costa. Ryan Izzo, the head coach on the North Attleboro side. As Gallagher, the goalie for North Attleboro, sends this ball out. It's going to take a roll down the far sideline. North trying to control. Milford now watches it go out of play. That was Eric Farrell monitoring the action over on the far side of the field for the Hawks, and we'll see substitutions now come in for both sides as we continue. Milford streaking in now around behind the net. Farrell carrying. Dishes a pass out towards the far side, towards Jaden Martins. Martins was on this varsity squad as a freshman last year, now fires one parallel to the goal, snuck that one inside the far post. Nicely done by Martins, and that's going to quickly even the score here. Martin's wearing a different number this season, but effective once again. We had a chance to see him, I believe, in his first varsity start last year. Played a good game, really caught our attention. And is able to grab a goal here for the Hawks to immediately tie the game up at 1 with still a little over 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. We have excellent weather conditions for all of the spring sports teams, not only today, but throughout this weekend. It's only going to continue to get warmer as the week goes on. We're going to see temperatures in the 70s through midweek and up towards 80 degrees by the end of the week. So any of the spring teams out in action this week are going to enjoy more summer-like weather. We've got a lot more action to bring you as the week goes along, including our first coverage of Milford baseball, and Meanwhile, on that hottest day of the week on Friday, what better place could we be than inside the gym to cover our first boys volleyball game? Should be nice and toasty in there with temperatures in the 80s, but happy to bring you coverage of a wide variety of spring sports teams this season. It's a 1-1 tie here in the early going, a long-range shot here, and does that sneak its way in? Took a bounce outside of the net, but I think that crossed the goal line for a score for the Rocketeers here with 8:05 to go. So just about a minute after the Milford goal, North answers back again. That shot came from way up top. And that was Berthium again from distance. So North retakes the lead now at 2-1. Milford looking to continue to make those steps forward as a program. A tough season last year for the Scarlet Hawks. Not a lot of wins on the total, 1-15 when all was said and done last season in the first year with Coach Costa taking over the program. Coach Costa, who comes with a lot of lacrosse experience and knowledge to share with this young roster. A young roster again this year, a lot of freshmen on the varsity team this year, but they do have a lot of returners, only graduating a small senior class last year, so a lot of the starters still intact here, and some quality talent on this roster. Stability in net with McGuire back there for another year. Some good scoring ability, and so Milford hoping to put it together to be a factor in this Kelly Rex division race this season. Got off to a good start with that 12-5 victory against Monty Tech back on March 31st. They've since followed that up with a couple of tough losses in succession against Davenport division opponents, only scoring single goals in their last two games, a 12-1 loss to Canton and then a 14-1 loss to the Sharon Eagles in their most recent game last Thursday. They were scheduled to play a match against Hudson on Friday, but that game did not take place. Down to 6:06 remaining in the first quarter. It remains a 2-1 score in favor of the North Attleboro Rocketeers. North carrying play now coming in from the far side. Line drive shot taken by Ryan Burns, Connor Casey, a freshman on this North Attleboro squad. Giving that uniform a second look, that might have been 34 for North Attleboro, Ethan Gustafson, as that shot went wide to the near side. Clock paused right now at 5:35. North still with possession as they sling it towards the far side to number 22, Luke Ward. And now this shot comes in high off the stick of Ward, and McGuire couldn't react quite quickly enough. That deflects in for the score. And that's going to put North up 3-1 with 5:23 to go. Still in the first quarter. That's a couple of goals in a row now for the Rocketeers that have come in from long distance. Now a scrum just off to the left of the Milford goal. McGuire even with that far post, made a nice move with the stick there to collect that ball in the air. Fires a pass out in the direction of the near side of the field, and now a little bit of room for Milford to cross over the middle. That pass dumped over to Farrell. And a whistle comes in here with 4:37 to go. Scoreboard up to date now. Back down to a 1-score differential, as that was Martin's again. Keeping things close here, so that goal happened in a hurry. A lot to keep track of here in the early going. North Attleboro right back on the attack now. This ball comes loose over towards the near side. That's going to tick out of play. So both sides with players that have netted 2 so far in this first half action. Still 4 minutes to go in this opening period. As North resets things, another high pass knocked down by Luke Antonelli of North Attleboro. Gets away from a defender. And now a shot ripped. It had a lot of velocity on it for number 28 for North Attleboro. We're missing a couple of these numbers on our roster, so my apologies for anyone that we can't give you by name. Now from the near side, that shot is going to ricochet off towards the far side of the field and out. That shot taken, it looks like, by Ethan McKinnon, a senior for the Rocketeers. And now North Attleboro through a lot of contact. Now taking it around behind the net. Now a quick catch and shoot, that's knocked down. Nice defensive play there for Milford. That was Dylan Burns. And now Milford quickly ahead in transition. Martin's waiting to receive a pass, couldn't collect that one cleanly. Now Milford leaves the ball on the turf, and a chance now for the Rocketeers to quickly come the other way. So an exchange of turnovers. Milford able to jar that ball loose, preventing a clean shot. And now the wraparound opportunity, and that is going to find the back of the net for number 13, Luke Antonelli. So back up to a 2-goal North Attleboro lead. Clean face-off win for North. Now the ball loose, picked up for a shot that is saved by Alex McGuire. And he's able to get a nice pass away to Jacob Lagore, who now cuts up the middle of the field. Pushed over towards the far side with good defense by Nathan Schultz. Eric Farrell now to the far side, back to Lagore. Wanders around behind the North Attleboro goal as we tick down to 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. Lagore now loses control, still having some trouble, gets a shove from behind now, and a whistle eventually comes in. Asparis with the pass now up to Ricky Nashaway. Nashawati, excuse me. Matthew Leosh now pushed far out with some more good North Attleboro defense. Now just 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Leosh now around behind the net to Martins. Martins protects, looking for Lagore, gets a good pass. Lagore now trying to get away from the defense, trying to pick that top corner, but the save is made by North Attleboro. And a player shaken up in front of the North Attleboro goal for Milford. This will pause the clock at 45 seconds to go. And so the Milford training staff out. And so we will pause for the injury timeout. Just 45 seconds to go in this first quarter. 4-2 North Attleboro on top of Milford here on Milford TV. Jacob Lagore, the injured player for Milford, able to walk off the field. Looks to be okay. Lagore, who played a physical season for the Milford football team last fall and ended up with some injury issues that kept him out for part of the winter sports season, where he was a captain on the boys basketball team. Got healthy late in the year. Hoping to have a healthy season this spring for this lacrosse team, as he will be counted on heavily as a leader and for his performance on the field. Players in a scrum for possession behind the North Attleboro net. It's Leosh who comes away for Milford, but he is hemmed in. Has to send it back to his goalie, and that will be the final play of this first quarter. So Milford able to hang in there against this tough North Attleboro squad. And just a 2-goal differential on the scoreboard here at the close of the first quarter. 4-2, North Attleboro with the lead. We'll start the second quarter in just a moment here on Milford TV. Starting the second quarter here at Milford Boys Varsity Lacrosse on Milford TV, streaming live on our YouTube page. Happy to have everyone on board checking out the live coverage, and if you happen to be watching this game after the fact, online or on our educational channel, it's just another reminder that all of these games are streamed live on YouTube. Just head to youtube.com/mymilfordtv to check out any of our live streaming coverage. You can also take a look at our sports schedule that is on all of our social media channels for information on when we will be out live covering these Scarlet Hawks spring sports contests. In the meantime, it's been a physical game so far in this first half. Flipping sides of the field now for the second quarter. Milford now attacking from left to right. Anthony Maeda bringing the ball up the near sideline. Now he'll curl back and give way to Eric Farrell. Both Milford goals in the first quarter scored by Jaden Martins. 3 different goal scorers for the Rocketeers through that first period. Into the second quarter now, with Milford looking to chip into a 2-goal deficit. They send it into Martins behind the net. Big physical presence out there now to Ronan Swineford, and up top to Farrell, but leaving that ball behind. Milford having to scramble back towards midfield, and North Attleboro able to push this one forward. Both teams having trouble with ball security here. Now Milford able to get a pass back away towards the center circle. And so Milford able to regroup there nicely after the turnover. Jacob Lagore right back out on the field now after getting shaken up towards the end of the first quarter. Pass away to Robbie DeGasparis. Jason Stokes pushing in, fires a shot, and it is stopped by JT Gallagher. North Attleboro looking for a quick breakout. A high pass, and this will not be retrieved as it sneaks out on the end line. Milford will take over. 9:40 until we reach the half. And a quick turnover leads to a shot that ricochets up over the Milford goal. North Attleboro quick to pounce there. One of the real keys to the success for the Milford girls on Thursday last week that we had a chance to see was a lot of really good crisp passing, even long distances. The girls very accurate with their passes. Milford's had a little bit of trouble, the boys have, in that department so far in this first half, looking to tighten that up a bit. As you see this pass go beyond the stick of Henry Baldick, one of the considerable freshman contingent on the squad. Meanwhile, Eric Farrell hacking away with the stick to try to slow the advance of Shane Hennessy for North Attleboro. Now from behind the net. Good work defensively there for Dylan Burns. Now North pushing in, but a whistle here going against the Rocketeers will shift possession. Farrell being shaded by Julian House, a senior for North Attleboro. Now Farrell gets it back, longer pass this time up top for Stokes. Back around behind the net once again for Martins. Martins lowers the shoulder, now delivers a pass. Clock ticking down to 8 minutes to play until halftime. Now Shawadi looking for options, gets it to Lagore. Lagore, a little sidearm pass on the money to Farrell. Farrell between two defenders trying to slice that shot in to the top corner, but that goes wide and out of play. Would have been some kind of shot to pull off between a couple of defenders to pick that corner, but a little offline. Gallagher now directing traffic as he fires the pass out just outside the center circle, taken along the far sideline. Milford almost getting a piece of that pass, but it's reeled in by Greg Berthium, who has 2 goals in this half so far for the Rocketeers. Berthium again. Testing the near side this time, Ethan Gustafson. Brings it around back up to the top, good. Fundamental defense here on this possession for Milford. Luke Antonelli, who has the most recent North Attleboro goal, fires one in from long distance. McGuire able to knock it down, then scoop it, and now fires a pass to the far sideline. Over to Ryan Burns. Burns carries it across the center line. Now the ball up for grabs. And Jaden Martins looks to have it, now loose again. And an easy grab for North Attleboro as they advance back onto their attacking side with just over 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Still a 4-2 score, no goals in this second quarter so far. And a timeout is called for, stopping the clock with 5 minutes and 57 seconds left here in the second. So we will take a pause on the broadcast as well. We'll get back to action momentarily here on Milford TV. Milford trying to grab their second victory of this 2023 spring sports season. It's just the 4th game of the season so far for the Hawks. Testing their luck against the reigning Davenport Division champion North Attleboro Rocketeers. North firing in a shot That's wide to the near side. Possession still with the Rocketeers. Dangerous here, and that one ripped past McGuire. And that was again Luke Ward. That's his second goal in this half. So that's going to increase the North Attleboro lead now to 5-2. Ronan Swineford in the face-off circle for Milford. Lucas Matson in there for the Rocketeers. Waiting to get things restarted, as right now we've got an official over towards the North Attleboro sideline talking things over with their coaching staff, and it looks like now, as you can see over towards the left side of the field, Coach Costa and one of the officials working on the netting, which looks like it's come loose a bit from the crossbar. Not currently on our screen, but that is what's causing the slight delay. So Luke Ward now joins the multi-scorers in this game, along with his teammate Greg Berthium and also Jaden Martins, who has the 2 Milford goals. Wasn't a lot of information out there on the early games of the season for Milford. Try to track the early scoring. So meanwhile, we are set to resume after the net adjustment was made, and now North Attleboro looking for a quick follow-up score from Matson right out of the face-off circle, but McGuire able to make the save. Milford, an off-target pass that takes a roll out of bounds just past midfield. North will send it back in. Quick pace to this half, slowed just a bit by the maintenance work done on the net just a moment ago, but picking up again now with just over 5 minutes until we reach halftime. Milford able to pull off the steal there. The ball right now with McGuire, who sends a one-hop pass over to the near side of the field. Now across the middle. That pass right on the money. Hitting in stride. Now it's Farrell. A catch and shoot, a low shot sent in. Looked like off the stick of Lagore that took a bounce up over the net. Possession still with the Hawks here. That shot well over everything and out of play. Uncorked by Jason Stokes. "11 freshmen as part of this varsity roster for the Scarlet Hawks. As Milford tries to regroup, a diving shot is made by Eric Farrell, and that's going to sneak its way in. First goal of the day for the senior Eric Farrell. It comes with 4:04 to play. And so again, the North Attleboro lead is cut to 2. So after back-to-back games where Milford was only able to come up with single goals, they've already been able to score 3 with still some time to go in this first half, keeping it close, trying to continue to make those adjustments. This is the first Kelly Rex opponent that Milford has faced on the season. A non-conference matchup to open the year, followed by back-to-back Davenport division matchups. North able to win this ball, but the pass out of the reach of number 34, Ethan Gustafson. And a chance for Milford to take over. Clock ticking down to 3.5 minutes to play. Can Milford get a little bit closer before the half? Nick Casilli now across the center line, a little underhand flip over to the most recent goal scorer, Eric Farrell. He's able to twist past a couple of defenders, racing in now behind the net. Tries to knife that pass in. The closest Milford player was Martins. That was out of his reach. The ball now on the ground over on the North Attleboro attacking side, but it comes down nicely for the Rocketeers. And then a release without a defender in the area for number 34, Gustafson. That shot goes wide and out of play, and that drew some groans from the Milford crowd, a point-blank look, but North couldn't cash in. Farrell has the ball knocked free, but it takes a nice roll for the senior to pick it back up. Resetting after the whistle. Right now the clock paused at 2:34 to go. Coach Costa continuing to let the positive reinforcement flow for his squad. And so it looks like Coach Costa is going to call the timeout here to talk things over with 2:34 left to go. Again, Milford is closed to within 2. It is a 5-3 score. And so we'll see the conclusion of this second quarter when we come back after this quick timeout. Stay with us here on Milford TV. Just over 2.5 minutes before we reach halftime. 5-3 North Attleboro lead on top of Milford. The Scarlet Hawks with possession. That ball glancing back to Lagore, who now gets pressured from behind. Lagore continues to struggle to scoop it, and now that leads to a North Attleboro rush the other way, but now Milford able to break up a pass. Good work by Henry Baldick. And now Lagore with another chance on the attack. Tries to loop a pass in the direction of Jaden Martins. Martins couldn't control. The ball goes out of play as we dip under the 2-minute mark. Substitutions fly in as this ball comes back out to midfield, but it is stolen right back by the Hawks, unleashing a hard shot. And that was Anthony Maeda, who capitalized on the turnover, sent that ball past the goalie, and we have a 1-score game here with 1:46 left in the half. That gets these Milford fans pumped up. Coach Costa loving what he's seeing on the sidelines. Just great vision there for Maeda to make that midfield steal, and then just came racing in and unleashed a wicked shot, and Gallagher was not able to stop it. So now 90 seconds remaining here in the first half. Milford with momentum starting to swing towards their side. That shot deflected away. We'll stay with North after McGuire was able to make the stop. High bounding shot. Goes over everything and out of play. That was off the stick of Luke Ward. He has scored twice for the Rocketeers so far this afternoon. That ball loose. Milford able to pick it up. Matthew Leosh dodging defenders, now sends a long pass that's going to take a couple of bounces all the way to the North Attleboro goalie. And now with 43 seconds, the Rocketeers bringing this ball forward with Greg Berthium, who got the scoring started back in the first quarter. And it looks like we're going to have another timeout here with just 34 seconds left. It is North Attleboro that has led throughout this half, but Milford has not allowed them to get that lead extended, and now it's back to just a 5-4 margin. We mentioned North Attleboro is the reigning Davenport Division champions. They finished last season 18-3, won the Davenport, and advanced all the way to the Division II quarterfinal of the MIAA playoffs. But this is a team looking to reload on talent. They graduated 12 seniors from last season's team. And not only do they have a lot of changes on the field, they've also experienced a lot of changes in the coaching staff as well, as Ryan Izzo takes over the club for the first time this season. But obviously still a lot of talent in this program. This has been one of the top programs in the Hockomock League. And so North Attleboro with possession out of the timeout. Just about 30 seconds until we reach the half. Milford looking to stay disciplined here on defense. And now this ball comes in low, but the stop is made by McGuire. North Attleboro able to win it back. Just 5 seconds left to go. Well, we see a shot here for the Rocketeers. They're able to get in position. Now that pass broken up, and that will do it. So Milford able to hold on there. A couple of opportunities for North, but it will stay a 5-4 score at the half. So all things considered, Milford has to be happy with that first half performance, in particular those late goals by Farrell and Maeda to pull them back to within one. So we will step aside here for the halftime. Again, 5-4, Milford on top of North Attleboro. If you're joining us on the live stream, hang tight. We'll have second half action coming up shortly here on Milford TV. Welcome back. Second half action about to get started here on the Milford turf. The Scarlet Hawks boys lacrosse team taking on North Attleboro. The Rocketeers with a slim 5-4 lead. Milford really closed out that first half strong. Hoping to build on that. Looks like Henry Baldick, the freshman in the face-off circle for the Scarlet Hawks here to get the second half started. Lucas Matson in there for North Attleboro. Once again, the Hawks looking to attack from right to left as they did in the first quarter. Matson off the face-off win, brings this ball in deep for the Rocketeers. And Now looking for a pass right on the doorstep. Didn't quite get there, but North Attleboro continues the possession. Dancing back out deep is number 25, Andrew Schmidt, a sophomore. Wrapped around behind for Jack Reagan. And now up top for Greg Berthium, who scored the first 2 goals for North Attleboro in the first quarter. Now this ball comes in from long distance. And nice vision for Alex McGuire as he makes the save. Ball loose up the far sideline, goes out of play. North Attleboro awarded possession. They get it back to Berthium inside the center circle. Berthium had 2. Luke Ward had 2. And also Luke Antonelli had a score for North Attleboro in the first. That shot comes in low, and that time it eludes the stick of McGuire. And so you can make it a hat trick now for Luke Ward. He has scored 1 in each quarter so far. Scoring here with 10:37 to go in this third quarter. It puts North back up by 2. Matson with another face-off win. And a lot of excellent passing for North Attleboro. That was a clinic. About 4 good passes led to a wide open look for Luke Antonelli, who now joins the multi-scorers for North Attleboro. 9 seconds between scores. Just like that, it becomes a 7-4 score. So Milford had seemed to grab momentum at the end of the first half, but North Attleboro has wrestled it back. Back up to a 3-goal lead, as this time the Hawks are able to win the face-off. This pass takes a hop, and initially Baldock couldn't find it, but to settle it down eventually. Now on the stick of Eric Farrell. It's Martins now. Martins trying to drive himself back in towards the net. Sneaks around behind. And now gives way. And a quick release on a strong shot for Jason Stokes. Takes a bounce wide of the net. And the possession change here, but first we'll have substitutions cross in from both teams. North Attleboro also looking for their first league win. They're looking for their first win overall on the season. They are 0-2 to start this 2022 season. Clock dipping under the 9-minute mark as Eric Farrell tried to force his way in. Farrell has a goal in this game for Milford. Now North Attleboro looking for a quick counter, and a sprawled out score for the Rocketeers. Count it for number 34, Ethan Gustafson. So this third quarter has been owned by the Rocketeers so far. Now leading it 8-4. Milford taking some contact. A lot of confidence for this North squad now with 3 big goals so far in this third quarter. Can Milford continue to make the adjustments? Here's Lagore. He has been held off the score sheet so far. Trying to get a pass away to Martins, but he's being pestered back there defensively by number 11, Connor Rajotte. Rajotte comes away with the ball, now loops a pass up to the center circle. The stick goes flying as that ball goes out of play behind the Milford goal. Milford with possession, 7:43 to go in the third quarter. This was a 5-4 score when this third quarter started, but Ward, Antonelli, and Gustafson have put North Attleboro on top now by 4. .658 now to go as North Attleboro again is on the assault. That ball took a hop off the side of the Milford goal and now picked up by McGuire. Behind the net now for the Rocketeers as they have really carried play through this third quarter. And now coming across to the middle of the field, and Jack Reagan now joins the third quarter's onslaught for the Rocketeers, making it a 9-4 lead with 6:10 to go. Four unanswered goals now for the Rocketeers. Milford desperate to start to change this game. A shot fired in, comes loose after the initial stop for the keeper. And now North quickly turning it upfield. Knocks loose as the physicality really ramps up around the middle of the field, and that's going to bring a flag in. Penalty here assessed to North Attleboro. Now into Martins. He gets around a defender, but his shot goes wide to the far side of the field. Drifts out. Inside of 5 minutes to go as Milford needs a spark here. The third quarter that has been owned by the Rocketeers. Martins again, can't get an angle, sends it back up to Lagore. That ball hopping off the side. Milford thought they had the score. Farrell stays with it. Now it's Martins trying to shuffle it in. And meanwhile, Farrell a little slow to get back to his feet. This is going to prompt an injury timeout. With a little over 4 minutes to go, Farrell in some pain. We'll have more in a moment here on Milford TV. Back out of the injury timeout with a little over 4 minutes to go. As the ball comes out just outside midfield. Right now, the concern for Eric Farrell on the sideline now getting looked at by the Milford training staff. And meanwhile, Jacob Lagore with a diving play in towards the net. He's able to get Milford back on the score sheet. So the first goal of the second half now for Milford comes with 3:48 to go. So Lagore, his first of the day. Breaks up a string of 4 straight goals scored by the Rocketeers. North Attleboro, some numbers up the field now. Regrouping, keeping this ball low as it rolls its way over towards Berthium. Apologies to our live viewers as we had a little bit of an interruption in our live stream, but we're back up and running now with a score of North Attleboro 9 and Milford 5. Milford just getting a goal moments ago from Jacob Lagore, their first of the second half, after North had put 4 on the board to start this third quarter. And looking for more here as that shot drifts wide to the far post. Shot taken by North Attleboro's Luke Antonelli, who has one of the 4 North Attleboro goals in this quarter. Has 2 overall in the game. Pass loose momentarily, but North easily regroups. Gustafson, Ethan Gustafson, who has one of the goals in this quarter, carrying along the far sideline. Less than 2 minutes to go in this quarter. ball loose. A chance for Milford to grab it. They do. And a pass up ahead. Martins elevates to pull that ball down. Now getting hammered by defenders. And eventually the ball jarred loose. Lagore is there. Lagore picks it up. Tries to rip a quick shot to catch North Attleboro by surprise. It was deflected on the way in. And now North Attleboro sending a pass right to midfield, and a lot of contact there. That draws the whistle from the official. North Attleboro now back on their attacking side. Flag comes in here. Looks like we'll have a delayed penalty on the Hawks as we enter the final minute of the third. Milford trying for a steal there. A nice attempt for Maeda. And now again almost had the ball on his stick. And now we'll have the penalty assessed as Milford regains possession. Looks like Maeda heading to the sideline, perhaps on the penalty. No, now back out onto the field. And meanwhile, the good news for Milford is it looks like Eric Farrell is back out on the field. He does have looks like a sleeve or a brace on the left knee, but he is back out there. Another scrum for a loose ball, 30 seconds to go in the quarter as North Attleboro emerges with possession. Greg Berthium up top, floats a pass towards the near side, now around behind. North now has to gather back in. As that one comes in low and could not be held on to by McGuire. And that is yet another score for Luke Ward, his second of this third quarter, his fourth now of the game. Comes with just 13 seconds remaining. So Ward, who opened the scoring in this third quarter, may very well have just closed it out. 13 seconds left, we'll see. A 10-5 lead now for the Rocketeers as they try to float this ball in for one final shot, but it's going to take a bounce over towards the far sideline, and that's going to do it here in the third. So a lopsided period in favor of North Attleboro. Ward with a couple of goals, Antonelli, Gustafson, and Reagan as well. The single goal for Milford in the third quarter belonged to Jacob Lagore. And so it's a 5-goal deficit now for the Scarlet Hawks with just 12 minutes left to go. We'll take another pause here on the broadcast, and we'll start the fourth quarter next here on Milford TV. Fourth quarter now here at Milford. Tim Coat here on the call, along with our Milford TV crew, bringing you live streaming coverage of varsity boys lacrosse here on this Monday afternoon. Second full week of the spring sports season. And again, a week that's going to see us get our first coverage of this boys lacrosse team, also the baseball team and the boys volleyball team before this week is over. This lacrosse team looking for a better showing here in the fourth quarter after they were outscored 5-1 in the third. North with possession to start this fourth quarter. Berthium getting forced out. Gets the pass back. Now looked like he was trying to connect on the move with Jack Reagan, who was one of the third quarter goal scorers. Milford able to take over, but a sloppy pass ends up right back with the Rocketeers. Positioning there defensively for the Hawks forces North Attleboro back over towards the near side. Reagan again gives away. Mayetta not allowing any ground. Anthony Mayetta, like Lagore, had an injury-shortened winter season. Eventually got healthy towards the end of the boys basketball season, and good to get the spring sports season started here for boys lacrosse. We've got another flag down on the field. Ball back on McGuire's stick as he'll heave it out towards midfield. Clean catch by Mayetta. Now up ahead for Martins. And Martins trying to fire that one in past the keeper, but a stop made by Gallagher. Now players hacking away at Martins. Eventually we'll get the penalty assessed here. It was Greg Berthium taking the penalty for North Attleboro, so he takes a knee on the sideline here. Just over 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Ball back on Martin's stick. And now this one skipped in, and that gets past Gallagher. And that looked like Jacob Lagore with his second goal of the second half. These Milford fans re-engaged. Still a ways to go for Milford, but back down to a 4-goal deficit. This is the highest goal-scoring total of the season so far for Milford. The previous high had been, actually I beg your pardon, reading that score in reverse, Milford actually netted 12 goals in that victory against Monty Tech back on the 31st. So still a ways to go to match that total. But certainly after back-to-back games where Milford had just 2 goals total, the offense has come to life much better here this afternoon. But still trailing North by 4 with a little over 8 minutes left to operate. Here's Berthium back after the penalty. He rips a shot that goes wide. Milford now with possession. Having to go back to track down a loose ball that just trickled off the far sideline and gives North Attleboro a chance to immediately reset. The clock certainly a friend for North Attleboro at this point with the 4-goal lead. Good pass from around behind leads to another look for Luke Antonelli. Antonelli with goals in the first quarter and the third quarter. Judging by some of the cheers out in the crowd, we've got a contingent of North Attleboro fans that made the trip up here to check out this varsity action today. Pretty stiff breeze right now blowing from left to right across the field. Still plenty of sunshine out there. Farrell couldn't reel in that pass that's going to drift out of play. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the work of the boosters to install the new windscreens here at the turf field. Just newly installed this past weekend. They had a volunteer force out to help put those screens up on both sides of the field. A great addition. And meanwhile, an addition on the scoreboard for North Attleboro. If I'm not mistaken, that was Luke Ward tacking another on to his total. Milford unable to dig in further to this North Attleboro lead, and now just over 6.5 minutes remain. Taking a quick peek at the upcoming schedule for the Scarlet Hawks after this one today. They'll be home again a couple of days from now to take on the King Philip Warriors. Then they will close out this week with a road matchup against non-conference Seekonk. Have a game against Bellingham during the vacation week. Our next boys lacrosse coverage after today will be in the month of May. We'll be back with the team on May 8th to check out the varsity team in action against Stoughton, I beg your pardon, against Taunton High School. Milford on their attacking side, 5:50 on the game clock here in quarter number 4. Milford trailing North now 11-6. Here's Farrell twisting around. Hits the deck yet again as his shot was redirected wide. Looks like this will stay with the Hawks. Gore with it. Jacob floats a pass towards Martins, and excellent reaction time by JT Gallagher. That was well executed by Milford, but quick reflexes for the North Attleboro goalie to make that stop, and now North Attleboro very quickly turns themselves upfield. That was an outstanding save by JT Gallagher. Luke Antonelli loses the ball. Milford didn't spot it at first, but eventually it's picked up by Matthew Leosh. And Leosh able to get a step on a couple of defenders, now lowers the shoulder, leaves the ball behind, and now swats away against a couple of North players. Maeda also over along that near sideline as the ball eventually trickles out. Farrell now, nice pass. That shot comes in low. And no goal. Gallagher on his backside able to make that save. Somehow just keeping that one from crossing the goal line. That was a good shot that time for Milford, but they've seen some excellent goaltending for North Attleboro here this afternoon. Still an 11-6 score, 3:41 to go here in the fourth. Good play defensively for Milford's Sam Rosenberg. Still with possession. And that might have gotten a piece of the foot of McGuire to stay out of the goal. Dylan Burns back to collect for Milford. Sends it now to his goalie, as this will take us under the 3-minute mark. Passing in this sequence here from Milford. Farrell has his lane to the goal closed off. Farrell upset with something there on that last shot. I think Farrell is trying to say that should have been a Milford goal. Not sure exactly what the argument was there. We'll see the officials come together. So the clock right now paused at 2:37 as the two officials come together to talk things over. And so indeed, we'll see a goal put on the board. So Farrell knew it right away. And so that's the second of the day now for Eric. It comes with just 2:37 remaining. Score now 7 for Milford. 11 for North Attleboro with just 2:37 to go, as more work is done to try to keep these nets playable. It looks like now trying to use some athletic tape perhaps to keep that top part of the net secure. We've seen it an issue on both sides of the field here this afternoon. Some of the girls lacrosse players wandering over to catch the end of this boys varsity action. And so while we have a delay, we can go through a little bit more of our planned coverage here over the remainder of the month of April. We've talked about it a couple of times. We'll be back with baseball coverage against North Attleboro on Wednesday. We'll cover the boys volleyball team against Cambridge Ringe and Latin on Friday. No games during the vacation week. We'll be back later this month with a pair of girls lacrosse games against Foxborough and Mansfield, with another baseball game in between against Mansfield. We'll continue to get that information out to you via our social media. Back to live action. North Attleboro makes the extra pass, and that makes the difference. Score another one for Luke Antonelli. That's the hat trick for Antonelli here this afternoon. Up to a 12-7 score. A quick win off the face-off for North Attleboro. They're not ready to take their foot off the accelerator just yet. Less than 2 minutes to go. So North, after coming up short in their first 2 contests of the year, closing in on their first victory. Both of their losses on the season were close games. They lost on Tuesday last week to Foxborough in a 7-5 final, and then fell to King Philip last Thursday, 11-8. And again, not ready to close up the scoring. If that was Luke Ward, as it appeared to be, and that would be goal 6 on the day. Really delighting these North Attleboro fans. (13-7) now, as we've gotten some rapid fire scoring here in the late stages. Final 60 seconds about to play out here in Milford. And meanwhile, North Attleboro is going to call a late timeout here with just 56 seconds to go. The game well in hand. They'll talk things over here. And so we will pause here for one final time on the broadcast. We'll get things wrapped up when we come back next here on Milford TV. Last bit of business to attend to here on the turf field this afternoon. 50 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. A game that was close at the half between these two teams, but North Attleboro able to turn things up a few notches here in the second half. Up to a comfortable 13-7 lead now with 30 seconds remaining. It looks like now perhaps content to run down this remaining clock. So head coach Ryan Izzo about to get his first win since taking over this North Attleboro program. As that ball comes loose, McGuire out from the net to scoop it, and North Attleboro gains possession back. They take a late shot attempt that drifts out. 3 seconds to go. And those final seconds tick down, and that is that. So again, a quality second half performance for the Rocketeers as they are able to defeat Milford by a final score of 13-7. So with the victory, North Attleboro will improve to 1-2 overall on the season, and with the loss, the Scarlet Hawks will fall to 1-3. And so we will have more coverage coming up later on this week here on Milford TV. Our next scheduled coverage will come your way on Wednesday, April 12th. We'll be over at Pheno Field for the first time this season as the varsity boys baseball team takes on their counterparts from North Attleboro. An expected first pitch at 4 p.m. You can catch that coverage live streaming on our YouTube page. So we look forward to having that game for you on Wednesday starting at 4 p.m. But that's going to wrap things up here for this afternoon. A big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand for the coverage. Our camera operators this afternoon, Patrick Garapi, and our Milford TV intern, Tim Zalewski. And I am Tim Coet. The final score one final time here this afternoon. The North Attleboro boys lacrosse team defeats Milford by a final score of 13-7. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.